All right, families of the victims in the Fort Hood shooting were furious when the Pentagon classified the attack as workplace violence, not a terrorist attack, despite the suspect calling himself a soldier of Allah. But if you thought that was bad, it looks like our politically correct Pentagon is only getting worse. Pete Hegseth is the CEO of Concerned Veterans for America and a captain in the military, still on duty. First off, do you think that the Pentagon's becoming too politically correct?
Well, it certainly is not helpful if we've got a military trying more to be politically correct than the biggest, baddest military in the world. You can spend a lot of time contorting yourself, trying to apologize or fit certain norms. And in this particular case, there was an Army reservist that gave a presentation calling evangelicals potential extremists. And a lot of it comes from the fact that the military, because it's unwilling to name the enemy, and in radical Islamists, it has to start saying, well, every religion could be extreme, every possibility is there. So when you're unwilling to draw distinctions, and it starts at the top in the fact that we don't name the enemy that we're at war with today, then you start to get things percolating down the chain where you get some pretty weird contortions that don't help in any way.
And for guys like you who go out and fight the war and try to win the battles, to not be able to name your enemy and be worried about every word you say, I think it's a little tough, especially when your officers are making sure that you say the right thing instead of fight the right war. I want to bring you to another story. The generals now, because of some well-publicized behavior where one general got his star taken away by illegal travel, allowing his wife to use military aircraft to go shopping and what have you. Now they have a new review put together by Joint Chiefs of Staff, the chairman, that's going to have generals being reviewed by other generals, a 360 look.
Yeah, you know, generals are now going to be peer reviewed. I can only imagine what, and by their subordinates, I can only imagine what a peer review for General Patton or General MacArthur or General Schwarzkopf would have liked. I know a lot of people didn't like them, but they were very effective generals at fighting and winning wars, which is ultimately what our generals are charged with doing. Listen, character is incredibly important. Everything I learned in the Army infused character, and you don't want to have toxic leaders in the ranks. It's terrible. But at the same time, I don't want my four-star general worried about what Cap Hegseth thinks about him. I'm just one tool in the toolkit for him in fighting and winning a war, and I'm going to do everything I can to salute smartly and follow his orders. And he shouldn't be worried per se about, I mean, he is because he wants me to do well, but not about how I'm going to peer review him.
Especially if you're not going to like him. Here's what General Dempsey said about this, Pete. He says, you can have someone who is intensely competent, who is steeped in the skills of his profession, but doesn't live a life of character, and that doesn't do me any good.
Well, you know, General Eisenhower had a mistress when he was fighting World War II over in Europe. He seemed to do just fine over there. Again, that's not conduct we want or like in our general officers, but it wasn't a reflection of his ability to win the war. There's been some high-profile issues that they're trying to address, but there aren't any more general officers being investigated today than before 9/11, as it says in the article. So I understand why he's doing what he's doing, but I don't want it to go so far as to thin the ranks of true warfighters, of the men at the top and women at the top who want to win wars and are going to do anything to do it. That's the type of person we break glass in case of war type leaders.
Gotcha. He's the CEO of Concerned Veterans for America. Captain Pete Hegseth, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, 11 minutes.